Dear students, welcome to module 1 of discrete mathematical structures that describes about fundamentals of logic. As the name suggests, this module describes in this module we will be discussing about the basic structure of logical statements, what are propositions, what do you mean by premises, what are the various logical connectives that make a combined statement or a compound statement, and how we can deduce the final logic based on this. Why the name is aptly given as a fundamentals of logic. And here you will see some connection with your digital electronics that you have seen in CO. So probably that might help you to understand this concept better, where we have used Boolean algebra 0 and 1. Here we use false for 0, 1 true for 1. So that combination is still being used here or valid, and you might have used so many notations for OR operation, AND operation, XOR operation, and NOR not. All those things have been used, but here the only difference is mathematical notations are used rather than the digital logic symbols. Otherwise, if you are comfortable with the Boolean algebra, I think you will be able to understand easily this concept of fundamentals of logic. So let us get into the topic. So in this particular video, we'll be discussing the basic connectives or basic details about the logics or fundamentals of logic, which you have been familiar through the digital electronics. So as per the definition here, logic is a process of reasoning. You know, reasoning is a very important topic. As a student of IT, you have to look how a particular statement can provide a solution, maybe like if-else statement or any other statement what you'll be using, like what you call a conditional statement in our programming languages. We have to make sure if this condition is true, what action has to be taken, or if it is a failure, what else has to be taken. So that is just a brief idea about what a reasoning is. So similar process mathematically is given here. So logic is nothing but the process of reasoning to arrive at a conclusion or a statement. We call it as different names. It can be a conclusion, it can be a statement, it can be a proposition, it can be a premises. All these things are the same name here used. But mathematically, if you define a premises or a statement or a proposition, is a declarative sentence. Please remember the name, or adjective declarative sentence, that is either true or false. So you should be very careful here. It can be a sentence, no doubt, but the sentence should be giving a final outcome. Say it should be either true or false. If a statement cannot be identified either true or false, then we never say that statement is going to be either a premises or a statement or a proposition. It should be either true or false. It cannot be both again, or it cannot be something else other than this true or false. For example, let us say today is a Sunday. Is there any truth here? If it is Sunday, we say true. If it is not Sunday, we say false. So today, if as we speak here, today is Thursday, let us say. But I have given a statement, today is Sunday. Is it true? No. So I will say it is a false. So my statement, I can say either true or false. Then I can say it is a statement or it is a proposition. Next statement, we have a class today. So I am telling a statement or sentence called we have a class today. If we had a class today or we have a class today in the given time, we say it is true. If the class is not there, then I will say it is a false. So I can attach either true or false. I cannot say both. So this is a sentence. Now, sun rises in the west. We all know that sun rises in the east. So the statement is a false statement. So it can be a sentence as far as the logic is concerned. Next, smoking is injurious to health. It is also a fact. People say if this is very dangerous to have smoking or passive smoking, whatever it is. Since the statement is true, since I can attach either a true or false, this statement is also a proposition. Next, coronavirus is not dangerous. So coronavirus is dangerous, but I have given a statement as a coronavirus is not dangerous. Since it is a false statement, I can attach either true or false. I can say this is also a statement. Next, a plus b whole square is equal to a square plus 2ab plus b square for all ab. Mathematically, you all know that this is a true statement. I attach true. So all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are a valid propositions because we can have either true or false attached to each of them. Let us have some more which we can debate now. Now one example is mathematics is fun. So mathematics is fun to some, mathematics might not be fun for somebody else. It is just a sentence which is not be true or false. I cannot attach true or I cannot attach false. So somebody it is true, somebody it is false. But if you look at the previous sentences, it doesn't matter who we are. These statements can be decisive and we will be getting a proper value, either true or false for all. See, but the sentences what you are taking right now, mathematics is fun, is a subjective statement. So I cannot attach any true or false value for this. So it cannot be a valid proposition or a valid statement. Now let us take another one. Is coffee hot? Yes, some people are ready to even drink a very hot coffee. For them, if you ask, they say it is normal. Somebody who cannot take a hot coffee, for them it is hot. So again it is debatable. So this sentence cannot be a final declarative sentence. There is no true or false attached to it. It is just an interrogative statement. So it cannot be a declarative statement. Thereby it is not a valid proposition. Next, may God bless you. This is also a statement. So it is imperative. English point of view, it is just a imperative statement. So we cannot attach either true or false. So we cannot say it is a valid statement. Sit down. Suppose you have a pet at home, we say sit down. We are giving a command. True or false? Your pet might oblige you or it may not oblige. So we cannot attach it. So there is no proper value attached to it, and hence this is also not a statement. Where are you going? Is a question. So again there is no true or false. So that means any sentence cannot blindly become a valid proposition or a statement. So that's why we have to clearly make sure English sentence is different or English statement is different from a logical statement. Let us not be confused with this now. So English statement can be all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sit down. English statement. Where are you going? English statement. What a beautiful climate today. It is raining. English statement. May God bless you. Is coffee hot? They are all English statements, but logically no, they cannot be statement. Why? Because there is no true or false attached to these statements, and hence the declaration part of the statement is missing. That assertion is missing, and hence we say that these statements cannot be valid logical statements. Are the English statements? Yes, they are valid English statements, but they are not logical statements. So that is the thin line that we have to draw here. So what a beautiful climate today. Again, it cannot be a statement. For you it might be beautiful, somebody else it might not be. So we cannot attach a true or false for this. So it is again a English statement, but cannot be a logical statement. So this is how we should be able to understand, given a statement, if it is a logical or valid or not, simply because by attaching if it can take either true or false. Both are fine. It can be either true or false, but it should be either true or false. If the declaration assertion can be attached, we can easily make out this is a valid logical statement. Let us see some more examples. Let us see what you feel now. So 5 is less than 10. So mathematically across the globe, 5 is less than 10. It is a true statement. So valid. 7 is greater than 15. 7 is not greater than 15. Mathematically it is a false. So I have attached something. It is also a valid statement. Paris is in France. If it is in France, we say true. If it is not in France, we say false. Since it is true, we say it is a valid statement. Bangalore is in Maharashtra. So Bangalore is not in Maharashtra. So statement is false. So it is there is no debate here. For everybody whomever you ask, they will be able to tell Bangalore is not in Maharashtra. It is a false statement. Thereby, it is a valid logical statement. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. It's true mathematically. So, it is a valid statement. 4 is a prime number. So, mathematically we know 4 is not a prime number. So, we say it is a false. So, it is a valid statement. Now, x plus y is greater than 4. Up to 6, no issue. But x plus y is greater than 4. You cannot decide. Because I can give x value 1 today, tomorrow I can give x value 5, day after I can give 0, then I can give minus 1. So as I vary the values of x and y, the statement takes different shape. For some values of x and y it is true, for some values of x and y it is not true. Then I cannot say declarative statement for this, and hence I cannot attach a concrete true or false at any given point of time for the given value. Then it is going to be a statement which is a confusive statement, so it cannot be a valid logical statement. So if I give for certain set of x and y, it might be true, but it is not true for all values of x and y. Like we have a plus b whole square is equal to a square plus 2ab plus b square. There it is true for all values of a and b, irrespective of what value we give to ab. But here the statement cannot be true every time, so we cannot attach either true false. Thereby we say x plus y greater than 4 cannot be a valid logical statement, so it is a invalid logical statement. P is equal to 3. Again, p value might be changing. Today p might be 3, tomorrow p might be 10. So 10 is not equal to 3. So I cannot. So when p value keeps changing, for a given p value I can say, but when p value is a variable, p is a variable, value keeps changing, so it cannot be considered as a proposition. So it is also not a valid statement. Buy 4 books. Like we said, sit down, bring. So buy 4 books is order. Buy 4 books. I may not buy. Why should I buy? So there is no declaration, there is no assertion here, so it is an order. So order statement cannot be part of your logical, and hence it is going to be not a valid logical statement. Are you reading? You might be reading, you might not be reading. This is not question, so there is no true false attached to it. So universally we cannot provide a concrete value for this. Again, this is not a valid proposition. So by looking at the statement, you should be clearly make out first whether the given proposition or given sentence is a valid sentence or valid proposition or valid statement. Then only we can apply the logical rules. Hope these things have given you a clarity on what a logical statement means, and given a statement you should be able to tell us whether the given statement is a valid or invalid logical statement. Not English statement, they're all English statements, no doubt, but they may not get the declaration part called either true or false. Thereby they cease to become a valid statements of logical nature. So you should be very careful. So true or false attach, then we say it is a logical statement, otherwise we say they are not valid logical statements. Now let us see how these logical statements can be further utilized. So next concept is basic connectives and truth tables. So truth tables is something which you have used extensively in the semester 1 under the concept of fundamentals of computer organization, that is the digital electronics. Same concept we are going to use, but here we are not using 0 and 1. If you want, you can use, no doubt, but we will be using true or false, that is TRF. But if you are comfortable with 0 and 1, please go ahead with that. You can use 0 and 1 as well, no issue. What do you mean by connectives? So normally exam they might ask you explain the basic connectives with truth tables. So we'll see how they have been. So connectives are nothing but, as the name says, connective. A connective connects or combines a primitive statement. So what do you mean by primitive statement? Like we have a primitive data structure, where primitive statement is very basic, which we cannot divide further. What are the primitive data structures for that matter? We have int, or we have data types, int, float. We cannot reduce further. So they are the least possible to have in the system. So if that is the case, we have those primitive data types, and similarly a primitive statement is the one which cannot be further broken or further brought down. So that is the least we can discuss, or least we can look at a statement. If that is the case, we call it as a primitive, very basic statement, fundamental statement rather. For example, today is Sunday. We can't do much with that, so it is a primitive statement. But let's take another one. Today is a Sunday and hence there is no class. So there are two statements. Today is Sunday is one primitive statement. No class is another statement of primitive nature. When I combine these two using and, so and becomes here a connective, and hence it is not a primitive statement. So primitive statement is single statement and simple statement which cannot be divided further. But in this statement, today is Sunday and hence no class, I can divide into two small sentences, and each sentence is going to be of a primitive nature, and hence the complete sentence, which you call it as a compound sentence, cannot be considered as a primitive. So primitive is a very basic in nature. Okay. Now connectives are used to create a new statements. So all primitive statements can be combined the way we want, and when we combine primitive statements using connectives, say AND or XOR, all those will be able to call them as a combined statements or a compound statements. So there can be two types of connectives. One may be a transform statement, other one is a combined statements. In the examination, so you should be able to write these two specifically. So what are the connectives that come under transform? What are the connectives that come under the combine? So as the name says, transform, it transforms a given statement. So only one connective that comes under the transform is the negation statement. It transforms a given statement into a totally a different meaning or maybe opposite meaning kind of statement, and hence we are transforming a given statement into some other new form. Maybe in this case it is opposite form or negative form, but that is the transform. What is the combine? Combine means maybe your AND operator, OR operator, NAND operator, NOR operator, which combines more than one statement. XOR, implication, what all those names we will see shortly from now. That is how we will be using connectives to combine. So your connective can be either a transform connective. In this case, it is only negation what we are going to use under transform, or it can be combined connective, which can be your AND or implication, by implication, and XOR, stuff like that. Okay. So as per the definition, a transform is the one which transforms a given statement into a new statement. For example, if I have a P as a statement, if I convert into negation P, where negation is going to be represented here. So negation in the exam, they can be representing either this is also negation, or sometimes you will see this symbol like 7. So don't be confused, both are same. So it can be either this symbol which you have been using normally, or you have been using, and this can be another symbol like this, so which also can be considered as a negation. So both are same, so we have mentioned here. So negation is like this. So if when you transform a P to negation P, we say that it is transforming this statement. For example, Bangalore is a free city from corona, let us say, then that is the statement. Then negation means Bangalore is not free. So I am attaching not. So totally the meaning is changed, reverse, extremely reverse meaning. So I am transforming the given statement into a new meaning statement or newly logical statement. New logical statement. Thereby I say this is a transform statement. So what we have to remember here is, when I transform a statement from P to negation P, that negation P cannot be considered as a primitive statement. So what is a primitive statement? A statement that has very basic nature, fundamental nature. I should not use any connective, and we all know that transform and combine are the connectives. Negation is a transform connective. Since negation is a connective which is transforming a statement, since it has already transformed a given basic statement, negation of a primitive statement cannot be considered as a primitive. That is obviously true. The minute I use connective, gone. Your statement of primitive nature loses its primitiveness. Thereby, we say that whenever you use a connective, you should be very careful that that statement cannot be called as a primitive statement. You should always calling it as a compound statement. That is a normal name what we use for a transformed statement or a combined statement. Since negation is a connective, so any form of expression that comes out of negation which is a transformed here cannot be considered as a primitive state. Probably you should be clear with this. Tomorrow in exam, when MCQs are called, we might be getting MCQ of this nature. Okay. Next, so once we complete with the transform, let us look at the combine. As the name says, combine connects. Combine connective connects two or more statements into a compound statement. Compound means more than one. So using your logical connectives. What are the logical connectives? As we have discussed earlier, just a note, or, and, stuff like that. So how to define a compound proposition now? When two or more propositions are connected through various connectives, then the resultant statement is considered as a compound statement. I am just careful here. You can write one or more also. I have just written two or more. If any of you have confusion, probably you can go with 2 or more, but still the definition wise, if you say, it should be 1 or more. Why? Because just now we have seen in the transform case, it is just one statement, we have used transform and transformed it into a compound proposition. So 1 or more is also a good definition for a compound proposition, but if you have any confusion, I suggest to avoid that and go with the 2 or more. But 1 or more is a more precise and valid definition. Okay, so let us go with 2 or more, so to avoid confusion at this level. But 1 or more also, if you write, nothing wrong, and that should be actually a fine one. So when 2 or more or 1 or more propositions are connected through various connectives, then the resultant statement we are going to get is going to be called as a compound proposition. So all these connectives what we use, which we mentioned here, a conjunction, a disjunction, implication, biconditional, exclusive or, and the one what we have used earlier, that is your negation. All these things are going to be your logical connectives. In the exam, they might ask you, what are logical connectives? Explain with example. You should be able to explain each of them. So here, exclusive or is something which let us not worry too much, because we don't attach much value at this point of discussion now, but these 4 we will be using extensively along with this. So in the exam also, if tomorrow if somebody asks, you should be concentrating on conjunction, disjunction, implication, biconditional and negation. So these 5 might fetch you 10 marks to each. So you should explain what each of them, what is the truth table of them, and some examples will get you good marks. So in exam, they might ask you logical connectives. Be careful with the word logical connectives, simply because you also might have heard about logical operators. So don't get confused between logical connectives and logical operators. We'll see why it is. Now, so what is the truth table? I need not say, you all know a truth table, nothing but it gives the relationship between the truth values of various propositions that have been attached or associated in the given statement of a compound nature. So if 2 statements P and Q, if you take, if P is true and Q is true, what is the resultant value you will get for conjunction, disjunction, implication, biconditional, negation, exclusive or, stuff like that we have to give. That is going to be your truth table. So we will be proving so many examples using truth tables that we will see shortly from now. So that's what I was mentioning here. So basic logical connectives are different, logical operators are different. Logical operators are this, your NOT gate, you might have seen, AND gate, OR gate, all those things are going to be your logical operators. So I'm not going to confuse you here, but just giving a clarity. So logical connectives are different, logical operators are different. Different only in the sense, the subject. In the logical design, you might have used these names. No doubt they have the same meaning here. But here we never use the word logical operators. We always use the word logical connectives. Apart from that, you don't see much change here. But this is what the mathematical definition. If you say negation, not. Conjunction, or. Disjunction, and. Implication, if something is true, then was, like your if else statement. Then bidirectional or biconditional, actually it is biconditional. It is if and only if. If and only if means like your if IFF, you might have seen mathematically, if and IFF or if and only if, which requires both sufficient and necessary conditions to be true. So that is if and if are biconditional. So this is the information for you, nothing to worry much. But our concept is basic logical connectives, which are conjunction, disjunction, implication, biconditional and negation. These 5 are the things which you have to keep in mind, so that you'll be able to write in the examinations. Now let us see each one of them quickly, because you already have an idea about these gates. I will not take much time here, just to give a brief information. As the name says, conjunction, any 2 propositions can be combined using AND, conjunction, AND gate, like our AND operator, and connector here we use to form a compound proposition called conjunction. The word AND highlights that it is a similar to your AND gate. You know, AND gate means what? When both are true, the result will be true. In all the other cases, result will be false. That's what the truth table. When both P and Q are true, this is true. In all other cases, it is false. If you are comfortable with zeros and ones, please go ahead, nothing wrong in that. Since mathematics is a subject today we have just taken TT because that's what is the representation, but 0 and 1 also is mathematically valid. If you want, please go ahead, nothing to worry about that. So giving an example, P, today is a Sunday, Q, no class today. By using conjunction, I can club this. Today is a Sunday and no class today. So what is the symbol? This intersection type symbol, P intersection. This is what is nothing but conjunction. We have seen this intersection earlier in the set theory. The same thing we are going to use here also. That is what what you call a flip V type category. So and symbol. Now disjunction, which is a R. So any two propositions that are combined using R connector is going to be a disjunction. Okay, that is like your U in set theory, union type. So if you take example, today is Sunday, Sunday is a holiday. You take any example of your choice, nothing wrong in that. So today is a Sunday or Sunday is a holiday. So two propositions combined, and you know in the case of OR gate, any one is true, at least you will get a true. In all other cases you will get false. So TT both true, fine. TF one at least true, you will get true. FT one at least true, you will get T. So both are false, obviously the result will be false. So that is the definition of your disjunction or a OR gate, which you have seen earlier in logic gates, where at least one of the value is true, your result will be true. In all the other cases, result will be false. Same definition you can write here, so it is valid. Based on that only this truth table has been written. Now implication, probably this you might have not seen in your digital electronics. Let us see how it is. Any two propositions combined based on the conditional if then. If something is true, then this is what the decision being taken. If that is the case, we call it as a as the name says, implies. If something is true, that implies the decision to be taken. If A is equal to B, if I write a condition, then I will take some. So since it is A is equal to B, there is an implication on the part. It can be then part or it can be else part. That's what we have seen in our programming languages. Since there is an imply condition, there is an implication of something being true or false happening. In the other case, we use the right word called as a implication. Only small attention we have to keep here is on the truth table. I'll come back to that soon. So implication is referred using the symbol arrow, this arrow. So P arrow Q means P implies to Q. I can also write Q implies to P. So both are different. So what is the meaning? P, if P, then Q. What is the meaning of this? Q implies P, if Q, then P. Totally different. So don't get confused now. So P implies Q is different from Q implies P, because condition is if. Here if is P, but here if is Q. If this condition, then what happens there? If that is the case, P conditional Q is not equal to Q conditional P, just simply mathematically not possible, because the entire meaning is different. So that you should be keeping in mind. So P implies Q, this is how it is getting read. And suppose example, today is a holiday, you can take this as one statement, store is closed. So today is a holiday implies store is closed, or you can write other way, if today is holiday, then store is closed. You can use if then, that's what the definition says. Better to use if then only. So if today is a holiday, then store is closed. So that's how we are going to represent it. So truth table is something I want your attention here. So consider now, how do you define it now? When the first statement, that is P, is true and other statement is false, then the result will be false. In all other cases, the result will be true. So both are true, also true, both are false, also true, and P is false, Q is true, then also true. But when first one, that's why I say P to Q, Q to P are not same. This is what it is meaning now. P implies Q is false and Q implies P is different. So you should be very careful here. So when we apply things like that, we should not be confused now. So P implies Q has a different meaning from Q implies P. So TF and FT. So TF means when the first statement, that is the if statement, if oriented statement is true, and the other statement oriented to Q is F, that is a false, then result will be false. In all the other cases, the result is going to be true. That's what we have to keep in mind. So be careful about that. Next, biconditional. So any two propositions combined based on the conditional if and only if is called as a biconditional. So denoted using double arrow. So conditional is single arrow, biconditional is double arrow. So example, 5 and 5 is equal to 10, 2 into 5 is equal to 10. So 5 plus 5 is equal to 10. If and only if 2 into 5 is equal to 10. That is what we say it is a sufficient and a necessary condition for P to be Q. So here, when both are true, the result will be true. When both are false, the result will be true. In all the other cases, result will be false. So that's what it is, similar to your 1001 concept. Okay. So this is the meaning of this biconditional or bidirectional. Now, implication to give that idea of why T and F is false and F and T is true. Let us take this example. So implication, assume there is a resolution by a person when I weigh more than 80 kg, that is a one statement. If, meaning that if I weigh more than 80 kg, if I weigh more than 80 kg, then I shall enroll for a yoga class. This is the statement which somebody takes as a resolution in 2020 during Corona time, because sitting at home somebody becomes fat, so he or she takes a decision now not to grow more weight or not to become obese, and take a decision, if at any point of time if I am weighing 80 kg, then I should go for yoga class to be fit. So that person, if you ask him or her to have a truth table for this implication, so how you can get the solution? So first, what is the first statement? The person is 80 kg. Second statement is going to class. What is the actual statement? Resolution is this: if I get 80 kg, I will go to yoga class. Let us see. So TT, both are true. That means a person is weighing 80 kg, he or she enrolls to yoga, true. So it is in line with the resolution, true. Next, second, the person is 80 kg but never enrolls for yoga. He said I will enroll, but in reality he or she is not doing. So is it in line with the statement what he or she resoluted, that if I am 80 kg, then I will go for yoga? So what is the fact here? Actually the person is 80 kg but he or she has not gone for yoga class. So it is not in line with the resolution, so it is a false. Second, a person is not 80 kg, still he goes for the yoga class. So in the interest of the health, the person even before 80, so maybe 79, 78, assuming he might become or she might become fat or reach 80 kg, they already enrolled for yoga class, started going. So this is in line with the statement. What is the statement? The minute I become 80 kg, I am going for yoga class. Even if you don't get 80, if you go for yoga class, that is good. So you are going to yoga class, so that is also true, in line with the statement. Next, somebody is very cautious, even before he or she becomes 80, or whether they become gain the weight or not, they take a call, let me not go for yoga. So 80 kg also not reached, and they have also not gone for yoga. So it is also true. It is also fine, because you are not reached 80, so you are not going for yoga. So that is also well in line with the condition. So this is how the true statement can be given. So that is how meaning here is. So here T and F is very important. So you have something in mind and you are not following that, that results in a false statement. That's what precisely the definition of it. That means when the first statement in the P to Q implication is true and the second statement is false, then obviously the result cannot be concluded, it is going to be false only. In all other cases, the result is going to be true. So these are all the various ways how you look at implication. So don't worry much about this. So these are all valid statement about the implication. So if P, then Q. We know as per the definition. So P is sufficient for Q. So if I am 80 kg, you should enroll for the yoga. That is sufficient for you. And Q is necessary for P. So to become some statement true, Q is also required, and P only if Q. So P is there because there is a Q. So all these meanings we can attach to implication. So that is again out of interest we can go. Otherwise, these are the various definitions or information we can have in detail about the implication. So nothing to worry much. Just keep a tab on the truth table of implication, because T and F case is false, in all the other cases it is true. So that if you keep in mind, probably all other things are very straightforward. So with this basic knowledge on connectives, let us go to two important criteria or the two important concepts of this fundamental of logic, which is the tautology and contradiction. As the name says, tautology, in a compound statement, if find all the values of each combination are true, then we say the representing statement of compound nature is going to be called as a tautology. So definition wise, because in the exam they might ask you define tautology or contradiction, so you should know the proper definition. A compound statement is called a tautology if it is true for all the truth value assignments of its component statements, which is represented as T0, T subscript 0. Then we say it is a tautology. Simply put, when you have a compound statement and if you write a truth table, the last column that represents the entire compound statement should have TTT in all the combinations of values, then we say it is a tautology. So a complement of it where you see FFF, that is a false, in all those statements is going to be called as a contradiction. If a compound statement is a false, for all the truth value assignments of its component statement, we say that is a contradiction, which is represented as F. Tautology is T, contradiction is F, because these are only two possibilities available here. So F naught, F subscript 0 can be used as a contradiction. So for example, let us see whether this statement can be a tautology. What is this statement? Negation P, implication Q. That implies to negation Q. First of all, is it a compound statement? Yes. So P is a primitive statement, Q is a primitive statement. We already combined here. This is one compound statement. It has become another compound statement through negation. This put together is again here, and so there's so much of compoundness involved here. So obviously this statement is a compound statement by nature, and hence we have to see whether it is a tautology or not. So best way is have the truth table. So P, Q. So all combinations TT, TF, FT, FF. As I said earlier, if you are comfortable with 0, 0, you can go with 0, 1, 0, 1. So left to you, but be careful with the definitions. If it is TT, T, because it is the implication, only in the case of T and F it is false. In all other cases it is T. Now negation of this, if it is T, negation of this will be F. If it is F, negation of this will be T. So negation of T is a false, negation of T is a false. Now what is next is negation Q. So Q is T, negation Q will be false. Q is F, negation Q will be T. Q is T, negation Q is a false. Q is F and its corresponding negation is T. Now what we are supposed to get now? This final expression. Where it is? It is here. This is 1, this is 2. So between this what relation is there? Implication relation is there. So implication means F and F, both are F, it will be true. Both are T, it will be true. F and F, both are false, true. F and T, if it is a T and F, it will be false. Since it is F and T reverse, it is also true. So look at here, the last column that represents the compound statement has T, T, T for all its combinations. For each of the combination, its value is T, T, T. Thereby, we say it is a tautology, and hence we have proved it to be tautology. Take another example of contradiction. So P and negation P. We know that negation P itself is a compound statement. Now further we have combined using conjunction, then it is a compound statement. So let us see if P and negation P is a contradiction. So P means only one, T and F. So negation P, T becomes F, F becomes T, and if you combine both of them, T and F, F, F and T, F, because as per the definition of conjunction, if both are T, then only the value will be T, otherwise it will be false. Now the last column for each combination is FF, and hence it is a contradiction. So we have proved that contradiction. So mathematically, the last column that is representing the complete compound statement has truth value as T for all its combinations, then we say it is a tautology. In all other cases, if it has a false, then we say it is a contradiction. That is the basic idea behind that. Now with this, probably you should be able to get into some of the problems. This exclusive OR is not a important one because we are not using them, but anyhow, since you know exclusive OR, I am just able to inform you this is also one of the logical connective. So the what you have to see here is how it is getting represented. So in your logical digital circuits, we know OR operator is this and XOR is this. So there is OR operator involved in the XOR gate. Similarly here we have a disjunction is this, and putting one bar here is nothing but your XOR. So that's what we have to remember. Definition is same. Any two propositions combined based on the truth value of either of them being true but not both is called a exclusive OR. So exclusive, as the name says, exclusive. Either one should be true, then the result will be true. In all the other cases, result will be false. Exclusive OR. That's what the definition. That's what we have. Next, we have another mathematical definition. Just for your information, what is a contingency? A contingency is a compound proposition which is neither a tautology nor a contradiction. So that means, what is this now? Exclusive OR. Is it a contingency? Is it a tautology? It is a contradiction. If all T's are there, we would have told it is a tautology. If all F's are there, we could have told it as a contradiction, but it has a combination. F, T, a combination is there, then we say it is a contingency. What is a contingency now? A contingency is a compound statement. Is it a compound statement? Yes. Which is neither a tautology nor contradiction. It is not completely tautology. It is not completely contradiction. 50-50 in this case. We say it is a contingency. So just a name for you. Just understand the logical or mathematical name for that. So now with this basic introduction, let us take some of the problems. I will take you through some of the basic problems. You can understand the remaining problems easily. Okay. So first, let P swimming at the New Jersey shore is allowed. A statement has been given for P. What is the statement? Swimming at the New Jersey shore is allowed. What is the Q statement? Sharks have been near the shore. Don't worry about what sentences they give. Just go with the mathematics expressions. So now they are asking, express the following compound statements as English sentences. So P is given, Q is given for us. Now as per the given statement, in this case, P, implication, negation, Q, like that they have given 4 statements. We have to express them in terms of the English. It is like in mathematics, they give in a school, high school maths, they give 1,45,000, then they'll ask us write in words. Or they give 1,45,000 in words, they will ask us to write in numbers. Similar to that. They have given the sentences. Now we are going to represent them in the required English sentences. Next we will see very shortly, they give English sentences, then we will represent them in the logical form. Both are same. So first one, for the given statements of P and Q, we have to calculate negation P, negation Q, because they have been used here. So negation means you have to use not. The sentence stays, swimming at New Jersey shore is allowed. Negation of this is not allowed. Q says, sharks have been near the shore. Negation means sharks have not been near the shore. That's all. Just put not appropriately wherever it is required. So now, P, implication, negation, Q. What is the first step? What is the connective here? Implication is the connective. So how it is connected? P is a basic sentence. Negation Q is a second statement. So these two statements are connected using implication. So what is implication definition? If P, then this. So if, add, if, write the P as it is. What is it? P, swimming at the New Jersey shore is allowed. Nothing else has been done here. We just copied it. Next, then is a implication definition. If this, then. What is then? Negation Q. Just now we have seen what is negation Q. Sharks have not been near the shore. Just add that. That's all, nothing else has been done. So simply understand the basic definition and put the sentences with that connective, and in the exam try to underline that connective. That's all you can do. Second one, negation P implies negation Q. So negation P implies negation Q. So since it is implication which is a in between what you call connective, so again if negation P, swimming at New Jersey shore is not allowed, then sharks have not been near the shore. So that's it. Next, P, double implication. What is double implication here? Which is nothing but your bidirectional or biconditional. So swimming at the New Jersey shore is allowed if and only if sharks have not been near the shore. That's it. Now last one, negation P conjunction P or negation Q. So these type of statements you should be just attentive here. Straight away we can write like this, but I've just written just to inform you that writing like this is totally confusing. If you read this statement, you will not get any meaning. Swimming at New Jersey shore is not allowed, and swimming at New Jersey shore is allowed, or sharks have not. That means I'm just verbatim putting the values in this. But if you know, if you remember in your digital logic, it looks like a your De Morgan's theorem, or maybe not, sorry, not De Morgan's theorem. So one of your logics may be your logics of Boolean algebra. So A intersection B union C. So A intersection B union C is nothing but A intersection B union A intersection C, like your set theory also, fine. So if you apply that, somewhere I will get this last statement. What is the last statement? Negation P and negation Q. So this has some meaning compared to this. So when such statements are given, probably you should have a minute of attention and try to make a simple statement out of this. If that can be possible, it is easy for you. So this has some meaning. So I can write now, swimming at the New Jersey shore is not allowed and sharks have not been near. It has some meaning, but the previous statement what is written here has no meaning. So I suggest not to write this as a solution, but write this as a solution. This is right solution. So how it arrived? It is because we have applied this. Anyhow, we have not discussed this type of expression right now, but you know this. We have seen in the set theory also, and you also know in the digital logic, A intersection B union C is equal to A intersection B union A intersection C. So apply that law and probably you should be able to get this. Okay. So second problem of same type. Let S, Ramesh goes for a walk. T, the moon is out. U, it is snowing. So express them. Similar to that, I will leave this to you because we have just applied the same English and it is not complicated like the previous one, straightforward. Okay. So now I will take other case. Now consider English sentences and translate them into notation form. See here they have given the notation, logical notation, asked us to write English. We have written like a previous problem. Now reverse case, English is given, now we have to write them in the notation. Ramesh will go out for a walk if and only if the moon is out. The minute you see if and only if, it is a bidirectional, biconditional. Ramesh will go out for a walk. So Ramesh going out for a walk is given as yes. So yes. Moon is out. Moon is out is what? T. So S and T are connected using biconditional. Simple. If it is snowing and another connection, moon is not out, then Ramesh will not go out. So here if it is snowing, means you, and the moon is not out. Moon is out is T, not out means negation T, and it is combined using and. Then we have Ramesh will not go out for a walk. Ramesh going out for a walk is yes, not going out for a walk is negation S. But what is the main conjunction? If, sorry, it should be if. If it is then. If then means conditional. That's it. So this is one part. This is another part. So we'll get a conditional. Similarly here, it is snowing. It is snowing. Ramesh will still go out for a walk. What is the conjunction? Conjunction are nothing but are and implication by implication. So be careful. Here English is but. But means what? It is nothing but and. But also it is a meaning similar to and. So we have written this U conjunction S. So this is also possible to be asked in the exam. So you should know both. Whether sentence is given, write them in the logical form, or given the logical form, write the sentence. So both are going to be valid from the exam point of view. Okay. Next. So prove that for any proposition P, Q, R, the compound proposition, these are all very important problems, is a tautology. Okay. So P to Q and Q to R, total implication P to R. So first P, Q, R, 3. It is given 3 propositions. So 3 propositions means 3 variables P, Q, R. Your truth table becomes bigger. So TTT, TTF, TFT, TFF. Again here, if you have any confusion over T and F, if you are comfortable with zeros and ones, please go with zeros and ones. No problem at all. Both are same. So I'm just writing division here. So TTT, TTF, so that you will get all 8 combinations, because 2 power 3 8. Then PTQ. So just see P and Q. Both are T, T. Both are T, T. 1 T and 1 F. We know as per definition F. 1 T and 1 F, F. F and T, T. F and T, T. F and F, also T. F and F, also T. Next one is Q to R. What is Q to R? This one. T to T, T. T to F, F. F to T, T. F to F, T. T to T, T. T to F, F. F to T, T. F and F, T. Now P imply Q and Q imply R. So and operator. So both are true, true, otherwise false. T, T, T. There is F, false. F, false. F, false. Both are true, true. False, false. Both are true, true. Both are true, true. Now P to R. P to R. This and this. This and this. So both are T, T. T and F, F. T and T, T. T and F, F. F and T, T. F and F, T. F and T, T. F and F, T. Now P to Q and Q to R, that is this. Next P to R, this. So these two. So in the exam you can write 1 and 2, because you cannot waste the paper there. So if a bigger expressions are there and you cannot write like this, you can say 1 like this, imply 2, nothing wrong. So you cannot write a bigger expressions. Okay, so you can save the space. This and this with ampersand operator. So T and T, T. F and F, sorry, this is implication. F and F, T. F and T, T. F and F, T. T to T, T. F and T, T. T to T, T. T to T. So what is tautology? All the columns or all the values in the last column should be true for all the combinations of given input. So we have T, 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 and hence we say it is a tautology. So we have proved that the given expression or given compound statement is a tautology. So like this we have another one. I will just leave it to you. So in the similar line you can see here I have just given for your convenience in terms of zeros. You can use both are valid, but you should be careful whether when you use zeros what values will be. So 0 means false, 1 means true. So you use the one which is comfortable to you, but any one only you should be sticking on. Don't write both and get confused. If you are comfortable with T and F, please go with T and F. If you are comfortable with zeros and ones, please go with zeros and ones, but any one, but not both. You should also be like a proposition. You should not combine one example T and F, another example 0 and 1, then may not be a right move because you get confused. Okay, so go with either any of one, any of these two, but not both. Okay, So these are all same problems. I will not discuss once again. I will leave it to you. Please go through that. There should be a self-explanatory for you, and any typical problems are there, probably I will touch upon. So this is also a tautology or not. So earlier they asked tautology, and in fact a problem, if it asks tautology, it is easy for you to check whether you are written a proper answer, and you can say if it is a 5 marks question, you should be getting full 5 marks, because they are telling it is a tautology and you are getting TT, then there is no debate on that. So your answer is perfect and you should be able to get the solution. But here in the question they are asking, is it a tautology or not? So now we have to conclude. So we do the same process. At the end we got all T's. Since we got all T's, we have to conclude that the given compound proposition is a tautology. So every statement, even in the previous one you should write actually. So from the truth table we find that the given proposition is a tautology. So you should conclude everywhere. So here also we should say that the given proposition is a tautology. So that is a good answer and expected by the examiners. So you can do that. So this type of conclusion you should be able to write. Now they are asking verify if it is a tautology. These are all examples. I will give it to you. You can solve on your own. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. These are all similar lines. These are exercise problems for you. Probably you can practice and see. If any doubts, you can let me know. So 2 more problems I have listed here, just to give a variety of type of questions that can be asked here. If PQ are propositions for which P implies Q is false, they have given P implies Q is false, then they are asking based on that the truth values of this. A slightly different question, and this type of questions are required in logic, because logic means apply our logical reasoning and get the solution. So P and Q is false. Now we have to go back to the truth table of P and Q. So P and Q truth table is this: when both are true, true; when both are false, true; when first one is T, second one is F, false; other case it is true. This is a truth table. So how many times or how many places the truth value of P to Q is false? Is only one place. So when it is given that P to Q is a false, so what is the value of P? T. Value of Q? F. So we have concluded that P is true, Q is false. When I know these two, can't we calculate what is P and Q, negation P and R? We can easily calculate. So the crucial step is here to identify the value of P and Q. So for this we should know the truth table of implication. So indirectly question is checking us whether we are aware of the basic connectives. Now P and Q, I know what is P, I know what is F, T and F, I know this truth table of conjunction. T and F can be true only when both are true. In all other cases it is false. So false. Negation P or Q. So P is true, negation P is false, Q is also false. Disjunction. So F or F is a false, because as per the definition of disjunction is false when both are false. Next, Q implies P. That's what I was telling. Q implies P. What is Q? F. What is P? T. So F implies T is true. So value is true. Negation Q, negation P. So Q is false, negation Q is T. P is true, negation P is false. T to F implies implication is a false. So that's what it is. Okay. Another important problem. If it was actually asked in the exam for 7 marks recently, if statement Q has truth value of 1, if statement Q has a truth value of 1, determine all truth value assignments for the primitive statements P or S for which this is true. I think if you solve this, we can conclude that you know all these 21 pages. Okay, so let us see how it is. Given that Q is 1, so Q value is given, but how many are there in this? There are 4 statements. What are they? P, Q, R, S. We know the value of Q, we don't know the PRS values. We have to calculate PRS. But to know that, one value is given, that is q value is given as 1, and it is also given that q implies this big compound condition is also true. Okay, now since it is given that q implies this big condition is true, so probably we can make out that using your conjunction, this statement and this statement should be true in order to get the result 1. So in conjunction, the result is going to be true only when both its primitives or both its statements are true. If that is the case, the first statement also should be true, second statement also should be true. So that's what is written here. So this is also true, that is 1. This is also true 1. So now, assuming this is true, here we know that this value is true, this value we don't know, result is 1. So again, in the case of implication, a true implies something gives true only when. Look at this table. This is also true, this is also true. In this, the truth value is given in only one condition, so that the second value is also true. So implicitly this is also is true. Both this is also true. So this is also true now. When this is true, since it is a conjunction, this is also true, this is also true, applying the truth table of conjunction. So here, when this is true and this is true, negation s is 1 means s is equal to 0. When negation s is 1, s is going to be 0. So from this we could get s value. So q is given, s value we got. Now let us come back to the second one. Here it is given negation s implies this 2 true. Now s is 0, negation s is true. Just now we have seen the true value of a implication gives true value only when the other statement is also true. So this is also true now. So negation r and negation q is 1. We know the value of q. So what is the value of q? It is 1. So this is 1 and this is also should be 1 because the result should be 1. So negation r is equal to 1. When negation r is equal to 1, r should be 0. So we got q value, we got s value, we got r value. So using this, we should get the p value. So let's search here where p is associated with either s, q or r. So here p is associated only with this negation p or r. Somewhere we have proved that negation p or r is 1. So I will use that. So negation p or r is equal to 1. So r is 0. Negation p or 0 is equal to 1. So when I get result as 1, so there is a false here. So this should be true. So as per the disjunction definition or truth table, one true value, another false value will give 1. So we know these two. So this should be true. This is false, the result is true. This should be true. If it is a false, you will not get 1 here. Since it should be true, we have to get negation p is equal to 1. Since negation p is equal to 1, p is 0. So we got p value, we have q value already given, we have taken s and r values also. So thereby the result is p value is 0, q value is 1, r value is 0, s value is 0. So this is some of the I think the best part of the fundamentals of logic. I think I suggest you to solve problems of this nature so that you will cover everything, isn't it? So you will be able to cover all those fundamentals what I have seen so far in single problem. So this will definitely test the understanding levels of the student. So now I will conclude this basic part with this. We'll meet you or let us meet during the next class on the logic connectives further session. Thank you.